For 22 years straight, longer than most of you watching this have been alive, one beer dominated America. Not just in sales, in culture, in sports, in identity. Then, on one single day in April 2023, one 60-second video, one custom can, ended all of it. Not just lost the #1 spot, lost $1 billion, lost an entire generation of customers, and in 2026, still hasn't recovered. This is the full story of how Bud Light destroyed itself, and what every company needs to learn before it's too late. Let's go back to the beginning, because you can't understand how big this fall was without understanding how powerful this brand once was. Bud Light wasn't just the #1 beer in America, it was the American beer. Since 2001, for 22 consecutive years, no beer came close. It had the Super Bowl commercials, the NFL sponsorships, the Dilly Dilly campaigns. It was everywhere. At its peak, Bud Light controlled over 10% of all beer sales in the United States. Think about that. There are thousands of beers, and one brand controlled 1 in every 10 cans sold. Its parent company, Anheuser-Busch InBev, was worth over $130 billion. They owned the beer market. Nobody could touch them. But quietly, behind closed doors, something was going wrong. By 2022, Bud Light had a problem they weren't talking about publicly. Younger drinkers, Gen Z, weren't choosing Bud Light. They were choosing craft beers, hard seltzers, even non-alcoholic drinks. The brand felt old, outdated. The same marketing that worked in 2005 wasn't working anymore. So, Anheuser-Busch made a hire, a new vice president of marketing, Alyssa Heinerscheid. Her job was simple: make Bud Light relevant again, attract a younger, more diverse audience. In interviews, she was direct. She said the old Bud Light image was, and I'm paraphrasing here, fratty and out of touch. She wanted to update it. So her team came up with a plan. Partner with influencers, go digital, go inclusive, reach new audiences. What happened next? Nobody predicted. April 1st, 2023, April Fool's Day. A TikTok influencer named Dylan Mulvaney posted a short video. She was holding a custom Bud Light can sent to her by the company to celebrate her personal milestone of 365 days of living as a woman. The video was less than 60 seconds long. It wasn't a major campaign. It wasn't a Super Bowl ad. It was one can, one post. Within 48 hours, the internet was on fire. Kid Rock posted a video shooting cases of Bud Light with an automatic rifle. It got millions of views. Travis Tritt banned all Anheuser-Busch products from his concert tours. Politicians made statements. Celebrities weighed in. The hashtag Boycott Bud Light trended for days. In the first week of April, Bud Light sales dropped 11%. The following week, another 21% drop. Week after week, the numbers kept falling. But here's what most people don't know. It wasn't just the boycott that destroyed Bud Light. It was what the company did next. When the controversy exploded, Anheuser-Busch had a choice: stand by their decision or distance themselves. They chose to distance themselves. They released a vague statement. They said they never intended to be part of a political conversation. They said they wanted to bring people together. That one response made both sides furious at the exact same time. Conservatives said it wasn't enough. They kept the boycott going. LGBTQ+ advocates said the company had abandoned Dylan Mulvaney and the community they claimed to support. And Dylan Mulvaney herself? She gave an interview months later and revealed that during the entire controversy, at the height of the storm, Bud Light never once called her, never reached out, never checked in. She said publicly that the silence from the brand felt like a gut punch. In trying to please everyone, Bud Light pleased absolutely no one, and the damage was already done. Now, let's talk about what this actually cost them, because the numbers are staggering. Bud Light lost $1.4 billion in U.S. beer sales in 2023 alone. Anheuser-Busch's total market value dropped by over $27 billion. In just one quarter, U.S. revenue fell 13.5%. Sales to retailers were down nearly 17%. And then came the moment that made headlines worldwide. In June 2023, for the first time in over 22 years, Bud Light was no longer America's best-selling beer. The brand that took the crown? Modelo Especial, a Mexican lager, not even an American brand. And it got worse. By mid-2024, Bud Light had fallen to third place behind both Modelo and Michelob Ultra. A beer from the same parent company was now beating it. One industry analyst put it perfectly, and I'll never forget this quote. He said, "We've lost a whole generation of hardcore Bud Light shoppers. It's going to take at least 10 years to recapture what we lost in 1 year. 10 years for one can." In 2026, 3 years later, Bud Light still hasn't recovered. Sales remain roughly 40% below pre-boycott levels. They've tried everything: Shane Gillis ads, Post Malone campaigns, NFL partnerships. None of it has brought back the customers they lost. Because here's the real truth about what happened. This wasn't really about one can. This wasn't really about one influencer. This was about a massive corporation that tried to change its identity without understanding who it actually served. They panicked, and when they panicked, they betrayed everyone. The customers they loved, the partner they worked with, their own values. Bud Light's story is a warning that every single company in America needs to study, because in 2023, one 60-second video proved that no brand, no matter how big, how powerful, how untouchable, is safe from one bad decision. If you want more stories about companies that destroyed themselves, subscribe right now, because we have a lot more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.